Hey guys, welcome to Experimental Reality. We're here with two random people because we sold Josh into slavery. To Jason, actually. But
help the economy.
Yeah, so we have Carter back. We have Luke.
Hey.
Oh,
and we have this mysterious fellow.
Yeah, we are on. Hi. Carter just kind of waved for those of you listening to audio only.
I'm incompetent.
And then we have this mysterious fellow who I think just chugged his Mountain Dew. Jacob.
Just pounded it. So this is Jacob.
Oh, also I am Chayan. Always.
Yeah.
He's not important.
He hasn't not been Chayan in years.
I don't think I've ever done an intro where I actually say my own name.
Probably not.
Yeah.
He's Chayan.
Anyways.
In case you missed that.
Anyways, welcome to the Experimental Reality Podcast, episode 10.
10.
Ooh, that's a big number.
Soon I'm gonna have to start. You'll have to take my socks off to count our episode numbers.
That's like double digits now. Big leagues.
1-0.
1-0.
And Josh was here to miss it.
Yeah. But Josh wasn't here to miss it.
How
does that work? Josh missed it. Just to clarify, Josh.
Jason,
it was a double negative.
Jason, if you are enjoying Josh as your new slave, we appreciate the trade for Jacob.
Yes,
although
much appreciated.
The handwritten letter of enjoyment was not needed.
Mm.
The rosé scent was a bit much.
It was nice to know he was appreciated.
I mean,
Yeah,
I guess
it
there
was.
was that.
Josh's mom will not stop calling me asking where he is, so
Josh's
give me a
mom,
good alibi.
just don't ask
Don't worry
questions.
about it. It's okay,
fine.
Jody.
He's in a better place now.
So, what do we have on the list?
Yes, today we're going to chat with Jacob a little bit. We're going to look back at our weeks as per usual. We're going to do another overrated, underrated segment, this time with movies.
Ooh.
We're going to talk about vacation. Cool vacations we've been on. And we're going to discuss what's your perfect day. I'll let that ruminate in your mind as we get back to the beginning of our list. So, I guess let's introduce Jacob first. He says no.
He says,
well,
that's
we've
it,
known
then.
Jacob. I've known Jacob since
6th grade. When you
5th
beat
or
me
6th
up.
grade. Yeah, so we first met at a church after-school program that would happen on Wednesdays. There would be a time to play, and then we would do like a little church service with the, standard youth group service thing.
I was about to say, it's called youth group.
Hey, you're right. So they have these big balls, like the yoga balls that you can balance on, except with the handles.
Yep.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
we'd play a game where we'd bounce them against each other, and then one of us
Were they
would
called
take it
boogie balls?
overboarded. Yeah, boogie balls. Boogie
yeah.
balls. One of us would take it overboard and start wailing on the other, and it was me. It was always me. So Jacob is actually only my friend through Stockholm Syndrome. Yeah, and...
Well,
Like every
I
other
thought
guest.
I thought I would never see you again, and then I happened to meet you again in 7th grade. Worst day of my life.
And I've manipulated them into being my friend ever since.
We've all helped.
Yeah, it's been a team effort.
Well, it takes a village to kidnap a child.
Nice.
Or flute.
But I met Jacob through Luke.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure. That's pretty much who I
I
met.
met at youth group.
Like everyone. Yeah.
Once we moved to the big kid area in middle school.
True. So me, Cheyenne, and Jacob would all go to youth group immediately. So it didn't start till 6:30. The big kid one didn't start till 6:30. Was it 6:30 or 5:30?
6:30.
6:30. And so after school, we would just go directly over to the church, and we would, since we're creative types, we would make up games to play running around the church grounds. It's got a pretty big lawn area, so we'd make up games running around the church
Fortunately, there's
lawn.
nothing for me to get hit with this time.
Yeah.
Well, there was, but
most
we
of
were
the
just
time.
a little bit more restrained.
True. We were in the big kid area after all. But yeah, we would run around and have adventures, and those are good times. Those were good times.
With big kids
Now we have,
comes big
jobs,
responsibility.
so we can't really do that anymore.
And we still run around and have adventures. It's
I, don't know,
just
I
through
carry around like 40-pound pins. I could whack someone with it.
tabletop RPGs.
Yeah, true.
Fun times.
It kind of makes our life sound sad, but it's okay.
I mean, yeah. When has my week in review ever not been sad though?
Fair enough. Speaking of week in review, did you do anything different?
I worked on a table.
True. Yes, we are making a sweet custom D&D table. It's not this table.
It's not. No, it'll be set up in the same room, but it has a lowered DM area, which is essentially the person
Lowered
that runs. runs the game, and it'll have a lowered map area with like a webcam setup because we stream and video chat to the
across
people
the state.
across the state. Play with the rest of our friends while they're at college.
Long story short, it is going to be a very, very cool setup. We stayed up very late last night staining it and putting it together.
Well, you stayed up last night. Cheyenne and I stayed up all night.
Until 9 o'clock when I finally went to sleep, and then woke up again at noon, and I'm like, yep, that was enough rest.
I got 5 hours of sleep, and I thought that
I
was
passed out till 4 p.m.
I got 5 hours of sleep too. There's an incessant droning somewhere in my house, and I could.
I think that's just your little brother.
No, you know those like those bugs that just like that make a whole bunch of noise at night. There's one somewhere in my house.
Like a cricket or a cicada?
I think it's a cicada. I don't know.
Those things can be loud.
I have no idea where it's at because there's holes in the ceiling in my basement.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
It's somewhere there because I would walk underneath where I heard it and it stops. And then I walk back, and it starts going, and I couldn't go back to bed when I woke up at
Conspiracy theory.
It's watching you. Big insect is interesting.
So,
it was quiet all day until, like, right before I left to go to your house earlier today. And then I heard it again. So that was torture.
Just giving it the side eye as you walk by.
So
I have no idea where it's at.
Back onto the whole table thing. So we essentially stayed up really late last night working on it, and we stained it, and there were like I forget the proper term, but there was marks.
Like roughs on marks.
Yeah, like there's marks just like every like 2 inches. And I'm like, this looks like this is terrible. Like this bothers me. And Carter's like, nah, we'll just leave it. It's late, and I'm just like, but it bothers me. And so I ended up like getting home from like breakfast and getting polyurethane, went to sleep, woke up at noon with I woke up a little bit earlier because my parents woke me up because they were like, hey, you need to get out of bed. And I'm just like, but no. And so my dad was telling me like, yeah, you shouldn't have stained that whole thing because there's those marks. You should have sanded it down. And I'm like, okay, well, how do I do that? So I had a whole conversation with him while I was half awake. And I finally got up, went down, spent like 2.5 hours sanding it down and removing all of the stain that we spent the whole night working on.
My stain.
And then re-stained it.
I was proud of the work I did.
Yeah.
It does look better now.
It looks a lot better.
Fine.
I mean, like, I'm disappointed too.
Were you here all afternoon or?
No, I didn't get here until like.
Okay.
So.
But yeah, so that was the table.
But you did something to Sed's work this week.
Yeah.
We're all proud of you. For
Yeah,
that.
he worked differently.
Yeah, he worked, but for his own pleasure. Good job.
Yep.
It was an
I also spent
a
bunch of money.
A vocation.
A vocation.
Bunch of money on a
He
bunch
also
of stuff.
spent a bunch of money.
Yep.
I didn't.
Me neither.
What did you do this week?
Worked. And
Wow, the new Cheyenne.
no,
Ayan Rand presents.
no, I'm just. I have some things that I want to start doing. I just need to get more into the attitude of wanting, of like actually doing it.
The motivation.
Because I get off of 10-hour shift and I'm just want to sit down.
So what is it you want to do?
I want to start, like we talked about. I want to start learning Japanese.
Okay.
I want to like actually start doing it. I keep telling myself I'm gonna, and then I don't. And so I've been doing that for about a month now. And
Do you use like an
no, I haven't done it yet. So I'm saying.
Oh,
I've been
I
wanting
understand what
to,
you're
telling
saying now.
myself I'm gonna, and then don't.
Not
for
it's
about
not
a
that
month.
he started and fallen off. It's just he's never really started.
I get that.
Nice.
Like I have this idea.
I have this
That's
like detailed out plan about how this guy did it because this guy went to school in Japan and didn't speak a lick of Japanese until he was already there.
Wow.
So like he laid out the plan of how he did it, and he said, I did it in about 3 years. You can easily do it faster if you actually devote. Like, you do it more seriously. And I'm like, wow, that's really cool.
How more seriously can you do it than just moving to Japan?
That's pretty serious. What would this guy consider serious? Just
becoming Japanese?
That involves moving.
DNA editing.
Yeah, just
to become ethnically Japanese.
time travel.
Okay.
That still wouldn't help you become ethnically Japanese.
I don't know, but he could have gotten a head start then.
Just take your relatives and push them somewhere else.
I've never seen SpongeBob still.
But you know that reference.
Yes, because it was a big meme.
So the plan was...
Yeah. So learning Japanese, you were intended to do that and then haven't. What other things have you intended to do but haven't? Any other projects you want to work on? Okay. Just learning Japanese.
Awesome. We as a group are full of completely self-motivated individuals.
Bad news. I'm gonna give the Duolingo owl your address. He will know.
I wouldn't use Duolingo because
Doesn't matter to
sucks
him.
for Japanese.
Doesn't matter to him.
Anyways,
Yeah, they're not very good with
Luke,
Oceanic languages.
how was your week?
Oh, my week was fun. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I went to work as per normal. We had a softball night Wednesday night where we have a couple German interns at our company.
Ooh.
And since we live in America, we play baseball a lot. They don't play a lot of baseball in Germany. So we taught them how to swing bats and play softball, and then they were better than me at it, which made me a little bit upset, but it was fun. Hi.
I was hoping you wouldn't acknowledge it, so it'd just be like a little Easter egg for the video.
Doing it. So we introduced them to softball and got to play with them some. And that was a lot of fun. And then Thursday and Friday, I attended a leadership conference called the Global Leadership Summit. It had a lot of cool, like, business leaders and entrepreneurs.
Where was this?
And so it's actually telecast across the country. So I did it at the church. Was my church was
That's why I
hosting
didn't hear about it.
telecasting thing. But yeah, it was really cool. There's some really great leaders that spoke. I think one of my favorites was a guy who was a former FBI hostage negotiator.
Okay, that's already.
Right?
Well, yeah, I mean, if your name's Carter, you're not destined for greatness.
So it's like, the interviewer asked him, like, how did you get
George Washington Carver begs to differ, even though that's not my name. It just sounded.
Well, Carver's better than Carter.
Jacob.
Anyway,
so the interviewer lady asked him, like, well, how did you get into being a hostage negotiator? He starts his story, goes, well, I was in the SWAT team at the time, like, as one does.
Man.
And then
You weren't part of your high school SWAT team?
No.
I remember SWAT Club. That was just about killing.
That's boring.
Hi, my name's.
So he hurt his knee and ended up becoming a hostage negotiator because he couldn't physically do it anymore. But it was just really interesting listening to him talk. And then Bear Grylls was also one of the speakers.
Nice. What? That's awesome.
Why didn't you tell us this before?
Because you wouldn't have come. It was in a church.
I mean, if I get to meet Bear Grylls, I think I could have
wasn't there. He wasn't even at the main
video.
conference. He was telecasting in from Switzerland. Because Bear Grylls.
Did he
Let me just pack it all up and
survival
move
techniques?
He didn't die during the video. That would be a survival technique.
Cool. That one down.
Don't die during
Speaking
video.
of survival, Carter, you survived another week. What happened in it?
Oh, well, it was actually a really good week for me. It was super it was not stressful as compared to last week where I was running everything. We got everyone on staff was there this week. We actually got to the point where we're ahead of schedule. We've never been ahead of schedule. We're consistently 2 weeks behind. And now we're, like, straining to find stuff to do. It was really nice, because I got to spend, like, half the day just, like, writing, like, standard procedure documents. So it was super easy. Really good week for me. And then I made an idiot decision and stayed up till 9 a.m. last night.
I was the opposite.
What time are you going to bed tonight? 10 a.m.
10 a.m.
We're gonna keep breaking records.
Yeah.
Nice.
We're just gonna shift it every once in a while until we're back to normal.
So, experimental reality, 24-hour podcast, building a table. Let's get it.
Let's get it. I feel like we did like 12 hours and we'd be like, well, we're done. Now what?
Yep.
Oh, I wrestled another match this weekend. It was a lot longer, went about 10 minutes, and went okay.
You had a legit suplex. It was pretty cool.
I hit some cool moves.
I hear the announcer is like garbage.
Dubbed over later, so it's hard to react to things that you know is what's going to happen already.
Oh,
That's
that
true.
would explain that.
So it's hard to work up
Okay.
enthusiasm for a near pin when you know it's not the final pin.
Yeah.
Still,
Well,
like,
I mean, even if you're watching it live, you probably know that one's not the final pin.
Alright. But it is what it is. The production value is not great, but the company's still trying to build itself up. That's like its 4th ever show, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, but, my match went alright. There was definitely some struggles within it. Not an easy hobby to get into. Throwing yourself at the ground repeatedly.
I mean,
But
that's
it's
kind
fun.
of what I do every morning to wake myself up.
Throw yourself down the stairs to the stasis chambers in the basement.
Yes.
Nice. That's right, because you bumped into Jacobs this morning and let him out.
Yeah.
And that's why you got to guest on the podcast today.
One day
No,
shipping.
Josh went good.
One day shipping.
It's
Jason.
nice to get out. And we just threw Josh in there for transport.
Well, we didn't actually clean Josh's pod before we put you in it, so I hope it was cleanish. Josh
No,
is
he's a
pretty
slob.
filthy into it. Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Next topic.
Yeah.
Because we
Yeah,
prefer to insult
wow.
our friends
Next
when they can't
topic.
defend themselves.
Speaking of, I got nothing. There's
Next
no segue there.
topic.
Next topic. Speaking of next topic,
What is it?
well, let me tell you. Let's go over our future plans quick. So this next week is my last week of work. We're gonna record next weekend, possibly 2 episodes or something. But 2 weeks from now, I will be moving across the state back into campus and will not have time to record. So it might be Cheyenne, Josh, and one of these 2, or just Cheyenne and Josh, or we'll double record next weekend or something. But Just so you know.
It'll just be a
Imagine
short
going
video
back
of
to
us just
college.
crying as he walks away. It'll be beautifully edited, a whole bunch of
I'll be
B-roll.
cheering.
see you again.
Cinematic.
See you again. We'll be playing in the
That's
background.
too basic.
Don't you forget about me.
I seem to remember
That's
you
a little
really.
bit too hypey.
Yeah. Don't you?
Can't sing that.
Well, we got about 2, so.
Don't you keep singing this song.
Yeah, it's 4.
Or you'll own them money.
That's
Anyways.
It's fun to get sued by the DMCA.
That's about 10.
I mean,
How are we doing so
I have
far?
a similar thing.
Do we have a
with,
lawyer? We should get a lawyer.
Who's gonna lawyer for us?
Jacob.
I
Wanna be a
mean,
lawyer?
I could probably get a lawyer because my mom works at a lawyer's office.
There we go,
Perfect.
We got a link.
Jacob's mom is our lawyer now.
She's not a
She's
lawyer.
I don't, it doesn't matter. We're not a real podcast.
Okay. You clearly weren't listening.
We're not monetized.
But I guess my future week's very similar. Is like this is my last full-time week, and even that I'm using up some of my PTO before I go to part-time, and I have Thursday,
Imagine
Friday
going
off.
back to college.
That's right. Hey, aren't we going to a wrestling show this Friday?
I think
Oh,
so.
that's
Cool.
right,
We're going to a
yeah.
wrestling show this
You're
Friday.
in my vote, bud.
Probably. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, all
Not
you have
mine.
to do is essentially just be like, hey, it's this time, I'm picking you up, or you're picking me up at this time, and I'll just be like, okay.
Hey, yeah. So maybe.
There's
Solid maybe.
a possibility.
Let's get into.
Wait, what are their weeks like?
Oh yeah, what are you guys up to this next week?
Working.
I mean,
Go ahead.
I'm gonna be working, but I don't
Maybe
know.
this will be the week I start learning Japanese. Who knows? I
Or
said that
maybe it'll
before.
be next week. Who knows?
Or the week after that. You know, it's best to have goals.
It's best to set the bar low.
Yeah.
I will at some point learn a word of Japanese, at least one.
I think I actually maybe Chinese.
Shindaru.
Anyway,
Nani?
Your week.
my week. I mean, it's always a
Adventure.
mystery box for me. I end up doing stuff that I had no plans on doing, and the stuff that I had planned to do oftentimes gets canceled. So I don't know. It's gonna be fun though, I guess.
I guess.
Fun times.
Maybe I'll try and make some food again and fail miserably at it, and so then
Oh,
make a
speaking of
dessert
that-
because it's better.
You should
If you ever need help with that dessert, I'll eat it.
You should.
You got it.
You should.
Helpful.
You should.
This is the law of equivalent exchange.
You should make another one of your stir fry things before like people yeet off to college.
It's like,
You should
It's
make
like a
gumbo
day.
again.
I
That would be a
should
day.
make gumbo again.
Making
Like,
plans on the
I-
podcast.
Well,
And it's
no,
not.
the thing is that like I do enjoy cooking. That is something about me.
I make toast.
I'm not terrible at it.
I'm a pretty
I've
good
got-
cook.
I've gotten compliments for cooking. I mean, I've won a competition or two, so
Wait, really?
yeah, I won a chili cook-off.
You just put
I
all
always
of the
forget about
peppers in
that.
it, and then people loved it.
It's so hot
No.
you can't actually taste it.
No, but I did
Because
make a
your
curry
taste-
like that once.
Your
that
taste
was
buds
fun.
just singe clean off, so you can't taste it, and you just have to assume it's the best.
And a chicken curry with naan bread, and no, it's don't make the joke. It's NAAN. But
It's about
that one was very much one of those. It was so spicy, nobody could taste it because they were just trying to wash it out of their mouth because
the
it was
bread's
like
for.
11 out of 10 hot.
Nice.
So yeah, it was.
only 11 Scoville.
I enjoyed it.
Or a
It
3
was
on the
good for
Cheyenne
me.
scale.
We had somebody
Maybe.
visiting from
I don't know.
India, and they really enjoyed it, so I took that as a compliment. So,
Right.
and then the time my gumbo and my chili, both that I've made, I had someone from New Orleans who was a chef down there, and they said that it was like more authentic than most they knew made. And so I mean, like, I think I'm good at it somehow. I've never learned formally. But...
I don't even trust anything even slightly remotely spicy anymore after KFC.
Like wheat bread.
KFC.
So speaking of KFC.
No, hold on. I need to hear this story.
We were when we were in Colorado. It was
yes.
like
Oh, this
11
was right
o'clock?
after the
It wasn't
hotel.
11 o'clock. It
I
was
don't
like
know.
8.
I can't remember.
It was like right before
late.
most
we had
places
just
that
finished
started to
hiking the
close.
mountain.
We were all dead.
Jacob was also on the
emotionally.
Colorado trip. Just
Yeah.
clarify
We
for you
were just finished hiking the mountain. Drove 2.5 hours back to the city near where we were camping,
I think it was
and
2.
we finally found somewhere to
Hour
eat
and a half
that
to
wasn't
the city,
crowded.
hour back to the
Yep.
site.
And went to KFC, and I was like, "Oh, I'll take these honey barbecue wings," and they gave me
The spicy
something
ones.
super.
Yeah, they gave
I
you,
was-
they gave you the Cajun barbecue.
Yeah, legit. I was really surprised
so
because
mad.
like you were never before. You've never been like a spice guy. Like you.
I've never.
Yeah.
I've been a
So
spice girl.
Okay.
If you want to be
So,
my love.
You're not part of this story. No. So like you've never really liked spicy, and you were just like, I think they gave me the spicy ones, and I'm just over here like, nah, it's just you
So you're
being
saying
not
you're
used
a
to
spicy girl,
spicy things. And then he like left one uneaten, and he asked me if I wanted it. So I take it, and he goes off to the bathroom, and I'm like finishing up my food, and I take a bite of it, and I'm like, wow. How did he eat 4 of these?
Yeah,
And Chayan
KFC,
is used to spicy
Yeah.
food.
KFC messed up honey barbecue wings.
No free ads though. KFC.
They don't
You owe us
deserve
royalties.
our ads.
So speaking of
Granted, we should
royalties,
just trash talk them.
15 people.
what's the next topic?
The next topic is movies.
Right,
Almost the segue.
almost.
90% of a segue.
You guys suck.
Speaking of watching that cinematic fail of KFC's, here's some other cinema. There
I
we
give
go.
it a 2.
Cinematic
That's
fail.
all right.
Just like
Overrated.
Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
But is Captain okay?
I would
Overrated,
say-
underrated movies. Go.
Overrated Titanic. I think it's
Yep,
good,
no,
but it's not that
I'm there
good.
for it.
The
Titanic. Do you know
James
Titanic
Cameron's Avatar.
True.
It
Also
was
true.
visually
Just
stunning.
also
Had
just
some
James
really good
Cameron
music.
movies.
James Cameron. Overrated.
Good.
Yeah.
I was saying Avatar had outstanding visuals. Obviously, is the hallmark of the movie itself. Really good music.
Complete rip off of.
It
It was actually.
It got a lot of flack when it first
I mean,
came
it's
out for
just
being very
Pocahontas in
reminiscent of
space.
Pocahontas. I know. As well.
No, there's actually a woman who wrote a book series, called it something. I don't think its name is actually Avatar, but it was about a group of United States colonist Marines going to a planet called Pandora, and seeing the native blue aliens. What?
No,
You missed what I said.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's-
You're just all looking at me like I just messed something up.
No, you're
I just always
talking.
look like this.
So they go to a planet called Pandora, and they kill, slaughter, and generally
That's just an accurate view of
persecute
American
the
politics.
blue native people who have a very close name to what they are in the movies, and they're searching for one specific mineral that can't be found anywhere else.
Is it called unobtainium? Because that was original.
I don't think it was actually called unobtainium, but basically they just took
Can't
the
find
actual
it.
book series, renamed everything, and called it their own idea, based on cultural fallacy that if you change 6 things, they can't sue you. They figured that each name, they changed more than 6 names of things. It was their own idea.
Way to
That's
go,
not
Jimmy.
true.
Did they do?
Yeah, and
Did they
lost
win?
because
Oh.
it's a $1 billion movie.
That's fair. They didn't have Jacob's mom as a lawyer. They could never win.
Yeah.
No, you know what? New running joke. Jacob's mom's the best lawyer in the world.
Yep.
Yep. So, an underrated movie. Let's jump on to an underrated.
Okay, well, now there was one said before Avatar. Titanic.
Yeah,
So Titanic.
Titanic
Everyone
won
gets that.
11 Oscars. You know that?
Oh.
11. It's tied for the record with
And Leo didn't get any.
Ben-Hur.
He finally
See
got
that-
one for Revenant.
Yeah, and then no
Good
one
movie.
cares about him anymore.
Yep. Pretty
Although
much.
Leonardo DiCaprio in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is phenomenal. Great
Leonardo da
movie.
Vinci's my
Watch
favorite
it.
actor.
No. But Yeah, Titanic won 11 Oscars, tied with Ben-Hur and the greatest movie of all time for most Oscars won by a single movie.
50 Shades of Grey.
I'm not going to even acknowledge that.
Nope. Didn't happen.
Just acknowledged it. Okay.
I didn't hear anything.
This is why we keep him in his pod.
Yeah. So Lord
I
of the
told
Rings.
you not to invite me.
We're gonna have to reprogram the pod, the re-education software in the pod.
Okay.
Anyway,
Anyways.
so Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, Titanic, and Ben-Hur all won 11 Oscars, and I would argue that Titanic does not deserve that. So, yeah, okay. Underrated movies. What movie
Underrated.
got more flack than it deserved, or didn't get as much credit as it deserved?
Treasure Planet.
Yeah, I was actually just going to say
Treasure Planet, Road to El Dorado,
Yep.
Lost City of Atlantis.
I don't know.
Those were
Lost City of
okay.
Atlantis was okay. Don't get me
Fantastic.
wrong. Some
I feel
of
like
it
it's
was
just
great.
the nostalgia.
Yeah,
I think
but
maybe
Treasure
that's what it
Planet
is.
was a really good movie, I thought.
Yeah. Good story.
I mean, it's just Treasure Island, but like
Cooler.
space. Yeah, I mean, it's just adapted for early 2000s. It was just a really good movie. I mean, it's a good story because they.
So you mean all Disney movies?
Wait, hold up, Avatar.
so.
Yeah, but there's a difference between stealing and refilming an idea from a like.
It just depends on if the author is dead or not. Thing.
Yeah, well, the thing was that for the Avatar,
So what
one,
you're
they
saying
contacted the author. The author said no, and then they did it anyway.
No, that would do it.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
So,
Bentley.
okay.
Yeah.
So
fine.
all those DreamWorks movies underrated. I got an
Treasure Planet was
underrated
a
one.
Disney movie.
Controversial hot take: Batman vs
So is El
Superman
Dorado.
underrated. It is
No.
It got more
Never
flack.
seen it.
Is your mom's name Martha?
It got more flack than it deserved.
My dad watched it, hated it, watched Wonder Woman, loved it so much, he's like, maybe I should give Batman v Superman another chance. Waited 2 seconds and said, yeah, never mind. So,
Look, I watched it. I
Also-
knew its reputation. I watched it before watching, I want to say Justice League, to prepare myself, so I knew what was going on. And it was not nearly as bad as it was hyped up to be. Granted, I watched the extended edition, which I'm told makes a difference. The extended edition added context and stuff that made it actually make sense.
Yeah.
But I remember Superman, not as bad as people said. Justice League was terrible.
I think Batman v Superman was an okay movie. It wasn't terrible.
It was a good action movie.
It was like a Stephen King novel. The ending sucked. That's really the point. Like it was a good. It was
Game
a
of
good.
Thrones
It was a good movie, and it's just it didn't know how to end itself because obviously they didn't want to. They went on to like what am I looking for? Definitively kill one or the other and prove which one's more powerful. You know. So they just introduced the Martha thing, which was really stupid.
I mean
but...
that, and then
Why did you say that name?
Doomsday.
Yeah.
Doomsday just kind of yeeted in, and then
Oh,
they're
yeah,
like,
and
we're
Wonder
friends
Woman.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, the thing, like, it was a good action movie. The writing was terrible. The character casting was, I liked it.
Cavill,
The story
Henry
was not
Cavill.
good.
Affleck, and Gal Gadot are all really good
Yeah.
roles.
The
And
story
the
was
corpse
just not
of
there.
what's his face makes a good. Lips. Doomsday.
Doomsday.
Okay. I mean, look, you're right, it was an okay movie, but people treat it like it was the worst superhero movie ever. So the worst
because DC cinematic movies, for the most part.
right. Like Fantastic Four got all the flack it deserved. Batman vs Superman
Yeah.
did not deserve as much
Place,
flack as it
it's-
got.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
What'd you say? It's fantastic.
We should
Cut
call
to
ourselves
black.
the Fantastic Four. Oh, that's a great flag. Oh man, that's so clever.
No, they cut to black before that.
I'm just doing the extended edition.
You're not funny.
Just kidding. I would never
The
watch
after
that movie
credits
twice.
scene.
What was the after credits scene?
Oh, I was saying that
I
your
don't
little
think there
spiel there
was.
was the
Oh.
after credits scene.
They just no. I think the after credits scene. They should
I think
just
this
tell them
joke is
that
dead.
name
We should move
ridiculous.
on.
Yeah, move on. Overrated, underrated. Keep going. What else we got?
Overrated.
I would say Western movies, but I haven't watched a Western movie. Just don't like the genre very much.
Western movies just haven't been a thing for a while. Like, the
They-
last big Western movie was... Well, I suppose there was, like...
Tarantino's The Hateful Eight.
100
Yeah.
101 Ways to Die in the West.
Yeah,
The
I
Ridiculous
guess.
Six.
La
I-
La Land. For that one,
No.
like 2016, 17, I think it
It's like
was.
2018.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, I don't really care because I didn't like
Overrated.
the movie, but
Overrated.
it was just like it won like tons of awards,
Yep.
didn't it? Or at least it got nominated for a bunch of them,
Yep.
Mhm.
and it was just like
It stole a bunch of awards
I didn't
away
really
from
get
other
what it was
movies.
trying to do.
It was a musical about a romance. I
Yeah, it was
think.
like a romance, and then they don't get together, and just kind of like okay with that, which I get is like fine. I'm fine that they took that direction, but
It's
like it
weird.
just seemed like it was gonna like follow all the tropes, pushed the tropes, and then just for the sake of being different, broke the trope. And at the end of it, it just didn't make sense, and it just wasn't all that outstanding of a movie. Didn't really do anything different.
Everybody,
It just kind of had some big names and some star music.
everybody hyped up the music, and they were like in love with it. And then I listened to some of the tracks, and I'm like, they're nothing
They're okay.
special. Like
They're okay.
I haven't heard a
That's
single
really
Not
second of the audio.
Lin-Manuel Miranda, but they're okay.
I don't know.
I would say most Best Picture winners probably are overrated. Because there are all these artsy films that play with the idea of what a movie should be, and you're like, no, they just don't make sense. They're dumb.
Yeah.
There's some.
I need to finish watching Schindler's List sometime.
Okay, Schindler's List
is a really good movie.
I've watched the first half. I watched it in history class. Never
Overrated or
finished it.
underrated?
Schindler's
Or
List.
well rated?
I mean,
Deserving.
Deserving.
Yeah.
overrated.
Bambi.
It's a kids
Bambi.
movie.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, here's
We
a
can't
controversial
rate kids movies as cynical.
Hold up,
19-year-olds.
hold up. Underrated Lilo and Stitch.
Lilo and
No
Stitch
one
underrates Lilo and
No one
Stitch.
underrates Lilo
The
and
TV
Stitch.
show of Lilo and Stitch was underrated.
Yes, that was a
because
great
that was
show.
a good show.
That was a
It followed
really good
Didn't
show.
know that was
continuity.
a thing.
What? Well, that,
It was
that just
so
goes to show
good.
you. It was a really good show. It was better than the third movie.
Underexposed.
Yeah.
You know what really deserved all the flack it got? The second Pocahontas movie.
There's a second one?
It's so bad.
Is it the one where she goes to Europe and dies?
No,
No,
she
she
goes
doesn't
to
die, she goes
England
back.
and falls in love with someone else and ends up with someone else other than.
So if they made it
And then
realistic,
at the very end, she's just like, "Oh wait, no, I'm supposed to be home," and then she eats back to North America.
I thought they made a realistic Pocahontas too, where she goes to England and dies
No.
of tuberculosis.
I'd have been.
Speaking of
Better.
taking a realistic thing, the new Mulan is not going to be following the original Disney
more the
animated Mulan.
historical
It's going to be
Mulan.
the actual Mulan, which is cool because I like the original Mulan. The Disney animated Mulan a lot. Really like that movie.
If they're not gonna sing "Be a Man," I'm not interested.
Shang's not going to be in it.
There's no
Shang.
There's
There's
no
no
songs.
Mushu. There's no the cricket. Like there's none
I'm
of
not
that.
watching it.
But the thing is
Not
that it's
interested.
going to be like an actual retelling of the legend of Mulan, which is a really good story. It's just super cool, and so I'm up for just seeing Mulan just
Mushu,
be
from what I've heard, might actually be a
kicking butt and
phoenix.
taking names. What was that?
Mushu's might actually be a phoenix in the movie.
Okay, yeah.
Is what I had
did
heard.
hear something. Yeah, because there is an actual guardian.
No Eddie
spirit.
Murphy though,
Oh,
which is a bummer.
I'm not.
that ruins it.
I'm gonna watch it. I think it's gonna be good, even if it's not like a good quote unquote retelling of Mulan. It's gonna be a good Mulan movie, just because the legend. It's gonna be much more accurate.
I'll say underrated just because I don't think any of you have seen him. The Rush Hour movies with Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan.
They're really good.
They're
I think I have
so
seen
great.
one of them.
They're really
I
funny.
have not.
Parts of one of them.
Okay. Overrated rom-coms. They all follow the same formula.
You know what I haven't
Yeah.
watched?
Any rom-coms. You have to say something. We're on a podcast. You
He
can't
I don't watch
snapped
enough
and
rom-coms
pointed
to
at Luke.
understand
Yeah.
the dynamics of underrated or overrated, but I
I've
can tell you
watched-
ones that I thought were good.
I watched 2 rom-coms. They were exactly the same, and thus I can predict every rom-com ever.
Well,
The
see,
one exception to my overrated rom-coms rule is Hitch.
Hitch is a great movie.
Because
Well,
Hitch
see-
is iconic.
typical rom-coms follow like the same formula. Now there's good ones that follow the same formula that add in like more interesting elements.
Yeah, sure.
Like it doesn't make them
Night and Day
like
with
amazing.
Cruz and she plays
Cameron Diaz.
Cameron Diaz. That movie's really good.
That was a good
I really
movie.
liked that one.
Is that a rom?
I mean,
That's an
yeah, it is.
action
It's a
rom-com.
rom-com. It's a rom. action movie.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah.
I mean, one of the iconic lines in the movie is "Nobody move or I shoot myself and then her." Like,
What movie is this?
Night and Day.
Oh, I need to watch this.
It's
But
a
night spelled like
fantastic movie. It's
night.
great.
Okay,
Yeah.
night. Yeah.
Yeah. Another.
It's a pretty good movie.
The Proposal with Sandra Bullock is amazing. You would love it.
Underrated
actually.
Sandra Bullock.
Not a movie.
Old Sandra Bullock
Yeah.
is underrated.
Okay, fair.
New Sandra Bullock, they've never been as good as they.
I don't think I've ever
Sleepless
seen a
in
Sandra
no.
Bullock movie.
While You Were Sleeping. While You Were Sleeping is a great movie. Just because of the openings, where there is when they were shooting the movie, they just wanted a take of like a quiet suburban neighborhood. And in the opening scene, there happens to be like a paperboy like going down the street while they were taking this stock footage, and the paperboy is riding his bike and he whips a newspaper into a house, loses balance, and just crashes. And
I've seen the gif of that.
And the thing is that was not planned. They just kept it because the director loved it so much that this stupid thing happened, and it just kind of sets the tone for the rest of the movie, where it's just like normal thing. Bam! Look how it can just fail epically and just be hilarious, and it's a great movie.
Kids are stupid.
There is one scene in While You Were Sleeping, because the premise of the movie is this girl likes this guy, but he she's like a ticket.
Stereotypical rom-com.
She's a ticket person, like for the subway, and he like falls and hits his head on the track. And she gets into the hospital, and while she's waiting there, because she's like just the person who found him, his parents show up, his family shows up, and like assumes that she is his fiance who he with and no one else knew.
Then he wakes up and doesn't have any memories.
And he's an amnesiac, and so she's like spending this time going, nobody knows that he has no clue who I am, and it's eventually gonna find out. She falls in love with the brother, but basically it's
Whoa, what?
Yeah,
What?
no, it's
Hold up.
if you watch the
That's the whole
movie, it
twist.
makes sense, but it is great because the family is hilarious. Just like there's one scene where they're in a church and the entire family is just whispering back and forth about stuff, not paying attention. And it's just like out of context, like when you enter the scene, there's just like the dad and I think one of the brothers are just whispering back and forth, and he's just like, I didn't say Kurt Russell wasn't tall. You're just taking that because of what you're preconceived. I didn't say anything about Kurt Russell. And then the scene just like continues panning across the faces, and it's just tons of stuff like that where it's just throwaway jokes, and it's just full of them. It's great. It's a good movie. But nobody I know has ever seen that movie.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. See, that's what I mean. It's
You
underrated.
just don't really watch rom-coms.
While You Were Sleeping?
While You Were Sleeping with
Okay.
Sandra Bullock.
Huh.
Alright. We know to watch that. Anyone else?
No.
The Princess Bride. It's not underrated, but I feel like I can't shamelessly plug that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's just worth it.
What do you want, a peanut?
Nope. You know what I do want? To move on from this topic.
You're the worst at segues.
Now the question is,
You are
the
so
question
bad.
is,
You're so bad at conversation segues. It probably just carries over into driving other kind of segues.
So,
Segway's
yeah.
Yeah.
motor vehicle.
No, I get that.
So, but the thing is, am I trying to be bad at segues, or am I just bad at segues?
Yes.
You know,
Why
you're
not
just
both?
so bad that I'm just gonna
Yes.
assume.
I think you're just accepting that you're terrible at them.
Yeah, pretty much, and
Yeah.
embracing it. Yeah.
It's so
Anyways,
bad,
what's the next
good
topic?
movie.
The next topic is. It's just 2 minutes of me beating down Chayan.
I'm gonna get killed tonight. Sorry,
In your
guys.
sleep. The next chat is
While he
next
sleeps.
thing we're
Next
gonna chat
chat.
about is our vacations. Like, what's the coolest vacation you guys have ever been on?
You start.
Lord, man,
You
you guys
start,
have
'cause
done.
we got an obvious one.
Oh
so
yeah,
just you start.
yeah. You guys can chat more about your Colorado trip. Tell us any stories. Cheyenne
That's
has
not
already
my
told.
coolest. My coolest trip
The
is
two
my
people-
Montana trip with
The
my
two people
family.
who went on that trip with you are looking pretty betrayed right now.
No, I've had
wasn't
cool.
yeah, he literally
I went to Europe.
He went to
Yeah,
Europe.
that's a good point.
On two
I know,
different
but
occasions.
either way, we have a story we could tell.
Fine,
So just
tell good stories eventually. I'll tell you about the time I went to DC. And
I've been there. After middle school.
Let him be special.
I got to go with my family, and we got to check out other things beyond what they wanted us to see. And
Yeah,
I ran
itinerary.
around by
Did you go to
myself.
the
You got to
Smithsonian?
see the.
Yes, I went to the
alleyways to get what-
Did you
Smithsonian.
go to the monuments?
Yes, I went to the monuments. Did you go to the museum?
Yeah,
No, you didn't.
you're right.
Did you go to the Smithsonian at Dulles Air Force Base?
Yes, actually.
Did you really?
Okay, why don't you
Yeah,
actually
what do
tell
they
us
have
what?
I don't
the
remember.
biggest
It was
thing.
years.
There's one really big thing there.
Planes.
Wow, you both can do it
Yeah.
so far. Just
Okay.
go on with it.
So
I'm sorry for the terrible content this podcast.
we went and checked out some cool stuff there.
We're all lacking on sleep.
I feel like we're more interesting on low sleep, honestly.
I think we're more chaotic on.
That's more
of
interesting to our
sleep.
viewers. Oh, also, quick side note: shout out to our Australian listener. Hi.
Oi!
Oi!
Mate!
Mate!
Oh, God. Well,
And
there
he's
goes
gone.
that guy.
How do you listen to
Eddie's
the
gone.
podcast upside down?
I'm saying, what's he doing down there?
I'm gonna. Can someone
So
play me?
you went
That
to
was a
DC.
Can
mediocre
someone play me
joke.
29 seconds of Down Under?
The Curb Your Enthusiasm theme.
It was so unexpected. I'm
Luke,
so
you went to
sorry.
DC.
I did. I
Please
went to
tell us
DC.
about that.
Well, you know, it wasn't. We got to tour the White House, and the Capitol building.
That I didn't get to do.
So if it turns out if you write to your local senator, for my American listeners, if you write to your local senator or call their office or something, they can set you up with a tour of the White House and Congress.
Cool.
And so we wrote to our local representative, who happens to be friends with our family.
Oh,
helps.
flexing on us over here.
Look at the corruption taking
All right,
place.
Mr. Descendant of a President.
That's not true.
I
Very much
am the descendant of a president, but
Oh, well,
I don't
I
need to
mean, like,
flex
I
any of
guess
that.
on my grandma's side, I'm technically.
I'm a
That's
descendant
not
from
the one we're
Rutherford
talking
B.
about.
Hayes. 'cause
We're
he
talking
has-
about your grandfather.
Yeah, but I feel like it's like political.
Probably shouldn't
slander
throw
to
that-
Continue
probably
bringing
shouldn't-
that one up in public.
Probably shouldn't
so-
throw that one on the podcast.
Yeah, probably shouldn't.
There's a very interesting story that you will never ever hear.
Yep.
At
you
the
can
fan,
just-
he will tell you at the fan meetup 20 years from now.
Yeah, just suffice it to say that
I'm
I
making
got a
plans.
good
On the
Southern
podcast?
accent.
Making plans on the podcast.
Continue your story, please.
So, I'm descended from Rutherford B. Hayes, guy with the sick beard. That's anyway.
Rutherford B. Hayes.
Hey,
Yeah. He's-
So anyway, yeah, our local representative got us hooked up with the White House tours while the president was upstairs.
which president?
Donald Trump. This was while he was president.
Did he have like a miniature wall display?
I mean, he had Secret Service with guns.
That's cool. Let's visit.
Yeah. Way to dox us all. Yeah, no, so many times.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, that's the closest I'm ever gonna get to a sitting president. And then his motorcade drove like right by us later on in the week. So
Was
I
it
technically
his, or
saw-
was it
I
his
waved at
duplicate?
Obama before
it
he was president.
his. Nice.
Yeah.
Before?
Did he wave back?
Yeah.
When I was in elementary
came.
school, he came through Watertown and get a speech, and
Oh,
they're
that's
like,
right, on his campaign.
yeah,
trail.
on his campaign, and they were like, oh, you know, this presidential candidate's coming by. We're just gonna stand outside for 40 minutes, wait for this line of black tinted limos to drive by, and then they came by and we're just like,
Thanks, Obama. So anyway, yeah, we did that. I ate a gyro at a food truck.
You ate a euro?
Yeah, the
The
like
food?
the food, like the
GYRO.
flatbread,
Oh, okay.
a gyro.
I'm sorry, I live in the Midwest.
It's pronounced euro.
Okay, because I
And-
thought you meant like the
Euro coins?
European currency.
I
was like, why did you swallow a coin?
Just
Oh, I
ate a
didn't eat the
gyro.
coin. I ate just a paper one. Shredded with my
Just
teeth.
ate
I mean, I
and just-
suppose they do. Have
So
those as well.
what actually happened?
So I went to a food truck and got a lamb gyro, and it was one of the single greatest things I've ever eaten in my life. It was so good. I took a picture of the food truck, my phone, in case we saw it later on that week, so I could eat there again.
did you see it?
No,
Did you Instagram
DC's
that
a
photo?
really big city. No, I don't have Instagram because
I'm pretty sure I'm the
not a
only one
white
that has
girl.
Instagram
Do you
here.
curate it? Are you an influencer?
Hey, we
I'm not
influence
cool
our
enough.
listeners.
Okay.
We influence them to turn our podcast off.
I mean, honestly, kind of feeling. It
I
right
wouldn't
now.
So
listen
you
to
ate a
this,
lamb
but-
gyro.
Yeah, I ate a lamb gyro. And man, my vacation sounds so much less interesting when I. What'd you
What's
guys
the-
do?
I
Wow,
ate a food.
I ate a gyro. It was delicious.
We could get those in Sioux Falls, but you know.
We
Please.
could also eat Pizza Ranch in Sioux Falls.
Everyone looks at Jacob.
No,
It's the most gourmet stuff in South Dakota.
Yeah, it's a real shame we don't have one 3 minutes away from where we are now.
You guys were suggesting
It's
places
like
you
20
both knew I didn't like.
I mean, we suggested Chinese food,
We're not bitter.
which
We're not bitter. You ate a gyro.
there's chicken.
That's it. That's the end of my story.
That's
I-
all of DC.
Look, I didn't do anything cool
Wow.
that millions of other tourists didn't do. So,
So just to flex, I rappelled down a tower.
neat. Tell us about your going to Europe.
Yeah.
I've gone
Visiting
on...
Matterhorn.
I did not see the Matterhorn.
What?
Matterhorn's in Switzerland.
You can see it from Germany.
I mean,
Isn't it like half on the border?
I was at the Zugspitze, which is the highest point in Germany. But that's... Zugspitze is split between Germany and Austria.
Oh, okay, that's what I was.
Yeah. And I didn't actually get to go to the top because they had misleading signs, and I thought it was closed.
Oh.
It was not.
can you list off all the European countries you've been to?
The UK, if you want to split it up into Wales and Northern Ireland and Scotland, you can.
I mean,
And then-
Scotland might be separate soon, but
And then Ireland, the southern portion, the main portion.
Careful. We don't want to get bombed.
I lost it.
No, I'm supporting them.
I lost an uncle in the troubles.
I was in Paris for about 2 hours, never left the airport.
That kind of sucks. Not gonna lie.
Yes, it was.
Sounds like an American.
You
international airports.
think that's impressive? I woke up in Prague in the Czech Republic and fell back asleep 3 minutes later. So, I've been to the Czech Republic. Otherwise, I've been to Germany and Poland. I went to Auschwitz. Auschwitz-Birkenau as well. I went to salt mines. Near
Did
Krakow.
you find me?
Have you considered doing anything fun while you're in these countries?
I feel like
I
it was-
rappelled down a tower.
Getting a gyro that tasted good.
Went on a horse jaunty ride
I'm
through
sorry,
Ireland.
my-
It's a good thing you didn't like
Vacations
travel to the capital of the free world and then just eat a gyro.
Look,
I learned how to sword fight. I played golf in Scotland. What
And
else
yet-
do you want from me?
and yet I'm probably still a better sword fighter than you.
We can test this
I mean-
later.
What is it with you and Cheyenne doing that?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Look,
He gets it from me.
Me and Cheyenne
first
are
off.
physically competitive.
Yeah.
The only thing I've got on, I don't have any power on Cheyenne, but I have some agility on him, so.
Okay. Conversation. So did you go to Berlin?
Yes, I
What'd
did.
you do in Berlin?
We visited the Berlin Wall, the different locations where.
Oh yeah, because you brought me back a piece of it.
Did I?
Yeah.
I
thanks,
can't
by the
remember.
way.
I want a piece of the
It's
Berlin
all right.
Wall.
I remember.
I get so many different things when I go out for
So here's the thing, how
family
do you
and
know
friends.
it's a real piece of the Berlin Wall?
You don't.
Because there's a million...
Really, I don't. But I mean, like, it's the thought that counts.
See, that's what throws me off. I didn't think I got one just because I doubted it was actually a piece of the Berlin Wall. I can't remember. That's I can never remember what I get people because I get a whole bunch of different things for everybody.
I don't think I've ever gotten a gift from Jacob on one of his trips.
I got you something
I
for
think I've
Harry
gotten-
Potter when I went to the Universal Studios.
I got a Hufflepuff
Yeah, 'cause
thing.
I got a-
Even though I'm not a Hufflepuff.
I got a little David
I didn't
Tennant
get Hufflepuff,
statuette
I hate
from when he
Hufflepuff.
was Doctor Who. Remember
Hufflepuff.
I don't think I did.
I literally
I
have it
can't
hanging
remember.
somewhere.
The what?
I have a Hufflepuff thing that Jacob got me
I have
from
seen
Europe.
that. I don't know
Everyone,
where it
just
is.
everyone just looks around Cheyenne's room.
Yeah,
It's
like, hold on a
somewhere
second.
in here.
I've
Somewhere.
seen it. I know it's
Yes,
here.
it exists.
Went to the Berlin Wall.
That's why you got me the Hufflepuff, because you hate him.
Yes.
Well then.
There was this
Realize
really nice bakery that was like 30 seconds away from the hotel we were staying at. It was just like
Did
In
you get
the-
that bread?
yes, for insanely cheap prices. You get like for like €3 you could get like 6 pastries.
Wow.
Vanilla
It is-
Stungen? Like the
You
vanilla
can,
donuts?
you can trade that in for that many pastries.
I liked my euro.
Yeah, I know. It's
And
worth
Jacob
at least
likes
6
his Euro
pastries.
trip.
I still have a whole bunch of those coins at my house.
I'm sorry that I don't do
No, it's
cool
fine.
things.
I'm just making fun of you.
Okay.
Got spaghetti ice. The vendors did not appreciate that.
Yeah, well, it's kind
I'm
of a
sorry, you got
difficult-
what?
Spaghetti ice.
Spaghetti
it's
ice. It's
ice
a-
cream.
Yep.
That is like made to resemble spaghetti. So they put it through like a strainer, so it comes out looking like noodles. And it's like a strawberry sauce. and that's the marinara.
Mm.
And then it also gets like Parmesan flakes, or sorry, like whipped cream to resemble the Parmesan flakes. But like we walked up,
Coconut would work.
it's
Coconut sucks.
and but like we walked up to the guy and they're like, no, like can we get like 3 spaghetti ice? And he just kind of like gave us this glare because like yes, like you have to put it through the strainer takes a lot of work. Cause he's like really going on it, and then it barely came out, and he was like so mad at us because we got like 3 of them in one go.
Yeah.
And then you have to clean it afterwards.
That's literally his job, though.
I know, but he was not happy with us. We're a whole bunch of foreigners coming in with probably not very good German and asking for spaghetti.
I feel like that's just the equivalent of someone like seeing an immigrant who doesn't speak great English and being like, man, I hate them. That's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's okay because they're European.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, well, stereotypes. What'd you do in Montana?
Yeah, tell us about Montana.
You're clearly superior.
You can see
to...
the YouTube videos on his YouTube channel.
Yeah,
That's
true.
true.
The thing.
He makes fun of people who can't, like...
Yeah, I vlogged like the whole trip. It was fun with my family. We went up to a lake in the mountains called Iceberg Lake, and I swam out and sat on one with my brother, and it was freezing cold, and then jumped in and then like almost froze to death and swam back to shore and slammed my hand into the rocks because I thought it was deeper than it was, and I was like on shore because I was swimming so fast, so I just nailed my hand.
Oh, that's gotta go on the...
Punched a
on
rock.
the,
Cheyenne punches a rock.
It's gotta go on the soundboard.
But yeah, it
All
was...
together now.
I think it was just like my all-time like favorite trip just because it was like the first big family trip that we've done.
Yeah.
And we just had a lot of fun and did a bunch of... Yeah.
I went to an island in Canada.
Which your
Which
family
island?
owns.
My family's island. It sounds very pompous, but it's my entire extended families. They got it in like the 40s after World War II.
Old money.
No, it was like the Dolly family, like the 4 siblings at the time, like all like pitched in and bought this island that it's not a big island by any means, really rather small.
Still an island.
And they got a cabin on it.
How big is really small? Is like an acre?
It's fairly small. It's
I don't think it's smaller than an
I don't
acre.
think it's smaller than an acre. That's like a city block.
Is there a building on it?
Yeah, but not like a big
Then
one.
it's bigger than an acre.
But like, so basically you have to reserve it ahead of time, and the entire extended family pitches in if it needs repairs, like when it got struck by lightning at one point.
And then that happens.
Isn't
the
it like
family's
you...
When your private island gets struck by lightning, so you all have to gather round and fundraise again.
I'll be summering at our private island this year. Use summering as a verb.
I was there for a week after my wisdom teeth were removed.
Spend
It
a
was not
weekend
pleasant.
there.
So don't you have to like... Doesn't your like... the... Whoever wants to reserve it, don't they have to reserve it like years in advance because of
Not
how...
years. The Dolly van was not that big.
Oh.
And
Can I
I
go
didn't get
with you?
used that much.
I asked him when he was going.
Will you rent
They
it out
actually
for...
they actually said if I wanted, I could like. I think I'm pretty sure they said like I could do it with friends if I wanted to.
Road
Hey,
trip?
Well,
Dude.
tell us when.
Road trip, point 2.
I mean, you need a boat to get.
You
there.
mentioned
That's
it.
fine.
It's like 15 minutes
We
from now,
have a
you're
boat.
obligated
It's like a
to-
40 minute.
We have a boat.
It's a 40-minute boat ride from where you get out of your car.
This just sounds like a murder
Over
mystery
to-
waiting to
I have a
happen,
boat.
boys.
And there's
bought a boat.
rapids on the way there, and I don't know the way
We were-
to the island from.
We will figure this out.
You know what? I'm just gonna
collectively.
buy a
It's
private
alright.
helicopter.
We'll
It'll
just
be fine.
canoe there.
We'll just buy
would
a
not
private
recommend. There
helicopter.
are legit rapids on the way there.
Okay,
You
first let me just say,
my power.
please let's make this happen. Second off, this
This is
sounds like,
like-
the setup for a murder mystery, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Someone ends up
definitely.
dead the
Him
first day.
kills
So-
me.
So do we bring Jason
And
so that
everybody
he's
else.
just our Jason mask, or do we have to like bring?
Wait.
Well, I would die
does that mean
first,
that you
but it was
cut
all a
his face
ruse because
off?
I'm actually gonna be the one.
Nah,
killing
I'm
you
gonna
guys.
let him
Sounds
wear the
right.
Jason mask.
Oh, so like that
Oh
one
no,
video
Jacob's
game.
dead. Just coup de grace the body. Yeah, just to make sure.
Curb your enthusiasm.
Okay. Anyways, yeah, most interesting vacation you've been on, Ryder.
Well, I've never done anything prior to the Colorado trip. That's not true. I did go to the hills once, but that's kind of just like
went there
visiting your
for
local
college.
park.
But he never went to my birthday party.
Yeah.
We established why in the last.
We did
There's
establish
tension
why.
there. There's tension.
It's all right. You
Same.
never let me forget. I've had the
7
opportunity to
birthday
spend
parties.
entire years with him now, but let's just bring that up. The other part is I went to Branson, Missouri once. And I went down and visited Arkansas.
It's like wholesome Vegas.
Branson, Missouri.
I mean wholesome. It's like if you took like the Broadway Street in New York and Vegas, put them in a random town in Missouri, and made it like less fancy and less urban.
And you just turn gentrify up to 11.
Yeah, just make it full of old people. And that's what it was. It's a quaint little town. It's cool. It's really fun. There's lots of little stuff to do there. That was actually a really enjoyable time. My favorite thing, we went to a 50s diner because everyone in the town is like trying to make it in shows around there. So all of the small attractions are essentially just auditions that the local recruiters will like just make rounds in and find people with talent. And there was this kid. He was like 13 maybe, and I use that in the loosest sense. But we go to this 50s diner, and my younger sister's like 14 at this time. This was like,
This is Chayan.
yeah, Cheyenne. Yeah, so my sister, not my friend.
Yes.
But we go there, and sitting down, we've got all of our food, got like the milk eating, and then the kid starts. We're sitting next to like there's an entrance and there's an exit, and they're supposed to be one ways. So then we hear this knocking on the door to us. It's like this young, slightly overweight kid who looks nothing at all like Elvis, dressed up in like a white sequin jacket that's way too small for him, and he's knocking on the exit door, like looking confused as all get out, and just like mouthing "open it up for me." So I stand up and I open the exit door for him, and he comes in. He's just like, "I'm sorry, I couldn't figure out the way in." And it's like, just like glance to my left, and it's like 3 feet away is the entrance door. And I'm just like, okay. So I let him in. And he comes in, and he's got a boombox with him, which is never a good sign. And he goes walking up to the front counter, sets the boombox down, looks at like the cook in the back and says, "Hi, Grandma."
Oh no.
Yeah. And then
Even weirder because the cook was a guy.
and then no, it was a lady. But he then opens the front of the boombox because it's not a boombox, it's a briefcase.
No.
So yes, a poorly dressed Elvis walks in with the boombox. That isn't a boombox. Opens it up, pulls out about 3 rolls of quarters, walks over to the jukebox.
Oh no.
Picks an Elvis song, curses under his breath because he picked the wrong song, then picks the next right song, and then just puts 8 or 9 repeats of Jailhouse Rock on. And then he reaches into the briefcase and pulls out sunglasses and a whole bunch of like luau necklaces. Yeah. And the music starts playing. He waits for the first song to just end because apparently that's the one he didn't practice. And then he slips on the sunglasses and proceeds to, I'm gonna use the word dance. But it was more like awkward flailing. And just walks around this diner filled with people. It's like 8 p.m. at night. People are just trying to eat. And this kid's just like walking up, badly lip syncing, and kind of like singing under his breath, but he's real pitchy and switching into Spanish.
Hold
He's
on.
white as can be.
It's in the middle of Missouri.
He's like I get people can know Spanish, that's it, but he's not Hispanic. He's trying to play Elvis. He's got hula necklaces with him. And he's trying to lip sync and switch the song. but he's doing that. And he's like putting luau necklaces over like a couple of like old ladies who like, haha, yeah, you're being adorable, child, you know? And then, like, as he, like, turns away from, like, the other half of the restaurant, we just kind of see this face, like, his face change as he, like, spots my...
Oh, no.
I was wondering why you mentioned Chayan was 14.
All of my sisters, who are, like, right about his age, were like, oh, no. And so he starts dancing his way across the restaurant. And he starts like pulling out the luau necklaces and like puts most of them on, but gets like 3 of them in his hands and is just like, damn. And he's like dancing around my sister Cheyenne, singing to her. And then, in a twist of fate, turns around right at the end of the song and puts necklaces on my older sister Kendra, who's like 17. And you can just see the disapproval in her face as she's just like, get away from me. And you know, and the thing is that like right after that he like gets down on one knee. And he's just like, you are beautiful. Right as the song ends, you know, it's like in between the other playing of Jailhouse Rock. And my older sister's just like, and you could just see the pain on his face. This poor kid, he's been a train wreck since he walked in. He like tells a girl she's pretty, and because Kendra has no chill, she just goes, okay, like, I'm just trying to have a milkshake, just leave me alone. And so he gets up as the playings continue, packs all his stuff up, walks to the entrance door, and tries to go out. And he can't figure it out. So he bangs on the door until the next patrons walk in, and he stumbles past them. They look confused. Everyone in the restaurant's confused. And my sister is savage. And that was why Branson was a fantastic trip.
That was an absolute work of art. So this actually reminds me of a real quick story. So when we went to DC, we drove.
Hey Luke,
we did not
to interrupt your story, but you need to sit forward.
Sorry. So you did interrupt my story, thanks.
Cool.
But when we went to Washington DC, we drove. We did not fly. We drove from eastern South Dakota to Washington DC. That is 20 hours of driving. So, we visited Hershey, Pennsylvania. We visited, yes, chocolate.
That's why it's got the name.
It's
yeah.
We went to Gettysburg, which is very cool.
Man who went to
But I don't have any interesting anecdotes from that. But we drove through West Virginia, and let me tell you, gorgeous scenery, by the way. There is nothing like a Waffle House in West Virginia.
Oh my god.
So we get to this Waffle House, okay? We're like 2 hours away from our destination. It's like 7 o'clock at night, something like that. We're at this Waffle House, and we order hot cocoa. And
I don't understand the pain in Carter's eyes.
It's fine.
It's because you've never been in a Waffle House.
My family's from the South. I know what Waffle House is. I'm having like flashbacks.
So we order our food, and someone ordered like hot chocolate, and they were like, "You want whipped cream with that?" And they're like, "Yeah, whipped cream would be great." So the lady goes for like whipped cream, puts a normal amount of whipped cream on, and goes, "That's not enough whipped cream," and just drowns the hot cocoa in whipped cream. It's coming off the top of the mug. It's on the plate. There's whipped cream everywhere. The can runs out. She grabs another can and puts a little more on.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm all for that.
So
but-
now we have a mountain of whipped cream on top of this hot cocoa.
Somewhere
you
in there.
You got a side of hot chocolate.
Yeah,
with
we
your
got a
whipped
side of
cream.
hot chocolate with your hot cocoa. It's like when your dad says you want some fries with that ketchup and whatever. Everyone's dad.
Not mine. Mine's never said that.
Okay, well your dad is cool.
Well,
Anyway, so we, you know, where we're from, there's not a lot of jukeboxes, so it's novel. I mean, there are in dive bars, but we don't go to a lot of dive bars, so.
To be fair, only one of us is 21.
True. Right, we don't go to a lot of dive bars or stuff like that, so a jukebox is still relatively novel, and this is an original jukebox at this Waffle House, like a real proper jukebox. Like, this is fun. Dad gives us a couple quarters, so we throw some like 80s songs in there or something.
Like Elvis and.
Well, there's something about this jukebox. You can pay a little
9
extra
times.
and have your song be next,
Yeah.
rather than like added
It's
to the queue.
like standard. Yeah.
Yeah. And okay.
It's like a lot of
Cool.
jukeboxes. I don't know if that was like old style, but like that just reminds me of like the jukebox in like the bowling alley and stuff.
Yeah, it's
It's like you pay like $1 instead of 50 cents and it goes
Right.
next.
well, we got some 80s songs going or whatever, and we're just it's like been driving for like 12 hours that day. Like bombed. We're in this Waffle House in West Virginia, so we're already not in great place. But whatever. So we got some music going, and this couple comes in, and the gentleman in this couple has got like a Vietnam veteran's service hat on. Like, good, respect to him, like, being a member of a military is super, whatever, full respect to our military members, right? I go to the bathroom, I come
It's a
back,
great premise.
then, one of my brothers is like, yeah, Tony, something about the guy putting some money in the, cool, whatever, no, they never actually went up to the jukebox, physically. And, the song ends, and I'm like, I know what's next, right? I think I can't remember what I
Jailhouse
arranged
Rock.
for. Probably Jailhouse Rock. But, we have some fun song queued up next. Doesn't come. All that comes is a 10-minute version of America the Beautiful. And then,
Lee
like,
Greenwood?
what?
Was it Lee Greenwood?
I don't know if it was Lee Greenwood.
Lee Greenwood.
Yes, it was probably. I'm just gonna humor you and say yes, it was
It's
probably Lee Greenwood.
Lee Greenwood.
We're like, okay, I guess that gentleman really wanted to hear America the Beautiful. We're eating our stupid amount of food that we get because Waffle House is really cheap.
Yeah.
I think we've uncovered the hot cocoa at this point from the mountain of whipped cream,
I mean,
or the whipped cream is just deflated to the point.
It's less of uncovering and more along the lines of expeditioning for.
I do specifically remember the lady coming by just to give us whipped cream refills on our hot cocoa.
Yeah, it feels like Waffle House.
I think the lady went through 2 cans of whipped cream on our party alone.
Yeah, I've been to a pancake.
Okay, to put it in context for you guys, Waffle House is, remember the KFC that closed down?
Yeah.
Okay, like imagine that crossed with our old IHOP. Okay, you've got that in your head?
You mean the IHOP that ran 2 employees on a Sunday morning?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Yeah, because
Okay, so you
everyone
got
else
that?
was out back smoking drugs.
You got
That's
that?
the one.
Okay, now imagine if they flavored things with grease.
Even the orange
Got
juice
it?
has.
Yeah, you got it? Okay,
I'd rather not.
now the portion sizes are 3 times larger than even you were normal.
You just
And-
call them fat.
No, I said that we live in the Midwest.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
It's
insane,
Waffle
man.
House. For
They're
those
an
of-
experience.
For those of you who don't know Waffle House, that's Waffle House.
They're an experience.
So
They're never really clean.
we're working on our massive portions of food. It's like, holy cow. None of us finished our in the end. America the Beautiful wraps up, and we're like, what a beautiful song. America the Beautiful starts right up. And I'm like,
yes.
excuse me?
Great.
I went over to the jukebox, like, my song played when I was in the bathroom and I missed it. No, my song's still there in the queue, followed by about 3 more songs that we have. But those 4 songs that my family had queued up behind 20 consecutive 10-minute renditions.
I feel like this guy just kind of walked in and was just like, I want to ruin someone's
This
day.
gentleman spent
I
like
got
$30 so he could listen to America the Beautiful a cappella version.
It was an acapella.
Yeah, it was like an a cappella version.
Okay, it was not Lee Greenwood.
It was like an a cappella version. It was some weird version. It was like not standard version. 20 times in a row at this Waffle House in West Virginia. And I tell you what, that was the most surreal experience.
You mean you didn't pay like $1 to hear your song?
It was just absolutely...
Because I would've.
At that point, man, let it happen.
So this is... There was one 10-minute America the Beautiful that played. Then the next one started. You went up to the machine, found 20 more in the queue.
It was like, 18, 20, something like that. Just
10 minutes.
10-minute versions. We're talking like 3 hours of America the Beautiful they're setting the staff here up for.
Did he just walk into the restaurant and then the juke machine's just like, yep, this is my life now.
You can do it from an app though. He didn't actually physically go up and do it. He just sat in his app and just tapped America the Beautiful 20 times.
He probably has like automatic payments setting up. And didn't realize that he was putting that many players.
What if he had like a shake? Like he just like went to touch it once and
so sad.
He has Parkinson's.
At least you got those in America the Beautiful
makes me
for 3 hours.
Now I just feel like this man is being taken advantage of by tech companies.
So with that
You're
story,
right, it was better when we just believed he was just a jerk.
With that story, I think that's a good end to the podcast. Maybe.
You know what? I don't think it's gonna get any better than that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jacob, for joining us for this incredible episode of the no sleep episode of Experimental Reality. Thank you, Carter, for filling in for Josh.
I wasn't filling in. I'm just trying to live up to the great Titan.
Thank you, Jason, for taking Josh.
May he live in your basement forever.
We want all of him back, body parts.
And to our dear audience, thank you for listening to Experimental Reality. We'll be back next week with more experimental content. Experimental Reality is executive produced by me, Luke. Our multimedia coordinator is Chayan. The general manager position is currently vacant, taking applications. Music provided by our good friend Jason. You can find us at Experimental Reality on Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, Google Play Music, and Podbean. Want to get in touch with us? Email us at experimentalrealitypodcast@gmail.com or connect with us on Twitter at ERPod. Thanks once again for spending time with us. We hope to hear from you soon. We'll catch you next week. This Experimental Reality. Oh, beautiful.
Okay, that was kind of lame. There we go.
Spacious skies, o'er amber waves of grace.
Copyright that!